What's going on, guys? My name is Steve with Pacific Lawn Sprinklers Franchise, and in today's video I'm going to be answering the question, what's a franchise? Alright guys, so many of you have probably never even heard of a franchise or ever thought of actually owning one. Especially in the irrigation business, it's very rare to hear the word franchise. In fact, I think we were probably the first company to ever franchise out our business. So it's a very rare thing, and it could be intimidating, especially if you don't know a lot about it. But it's actually pretty simple, and it's actually a system that's used all over the world. There's franchises, millions of franchises all over the world. So it's a proven thing that works. It's just important that you understand it if you're going to be involved in it. So what's a franchise, okay? A franchise is a proven system that's been tested over many years, okay? It helps you start and grow your own business. So any franchise you see, McDonald's, Ace Hardware, Burger King, any of those food franchises, any landscaping franchise, anything like that, what it means is that behind the scenes, someone or some group of people over many years have been testing things and testing systems and testing different ways to make money, make profit, things like that. And then they thought their system was good and it's been working. So they said, hey, let me help other people out by letting them use our system to help start and grow their own business. That's all it is. Okay, so it's really, really important to understand about a franchise. Like, number one thing to understand, okay? You are still the boss. When you own a franchise, you are in control of your money, you're in control of your schedule, and all the decisions are yours, okay? You are the boss. A lot of guys that we come across feel like they're giving up control, or they're giving up this dream that they had to be a business owner and own their own business by owning a franchise. They feel like someone's hovering over their backs, or they have to do all these crazy things and be monitored by people. It doesn't really work like that. You are your own business. You're just using a system that someone else built. That's really all it is. There are certain things that you do have to uphold, like the brand of whatever franchise you're involved in, or say our brand. You can't just blow off customers or do some types of crazy stuff. Obviously, you have to still be an honest guy, still have integrity in your work, still do the right thing. You can't rip people off. There's still a bit of stuff you need to follow, but you should be doing that anyway if you're your own business. But all in all, any money you make goes directly into your bank account. If you need off on a Tuesday to take your daughter to soccer practice, take off. That's your decision because it's your money. Every time you take off, you affect your pocket. Every time you work more, you affect your pocket. It's your own business. Very important to understand. A lot of guys that we see are thrown off by that in the beginning, and that's the reason that maybe they don't reach out to us. But I really want you to understand, you're in control. All right, so here's a little bit about our franchise, okay? Pacific Lawn Sprinklers Franchise. Our company was started in 1980 by three brothers, okay? When these three guys started, they started off with one single truck, and they were doing irrigation service and installs every day, okay? So started about over 40 years ago. As they grew, these guys, along with their team and everyone that they began to hire, spent decades learning, developing, and fine-tuning, okay? In order to keep any business alive for more than 40 years, there's a lot of people involved, there's a lot of work involved, and you really need to put in the time and dedicated effort to build it that far. And that's a point of a franchise, okay? When you get involved with us, you're taking on and you're bringing on a system for yourself that's been doing this stuff for 40 years. So instead of you going and trying to recreate the wheel and be your own boss and feel the pride of building up this thing from the ground up, you could skip many years ahead by coming on, seeing what we have to offer, and basically piggybacking off of everything we've learned, developed, and fine-tuned for over 40 years. That's the whole point. And that's how you can take your business from taking a really long time and being very painful to grow to getting it up and running and growing and being successful in a short amount of time. So learning, okay? How did we learn? We learned a lot by making mistakes, trial and error. We basically made mistakes in any possible thing you could think of related to the irrigation business, from simple field work to office work to advertising to scheduling to software. Anything you could possibly imagine that you need for an irrigation business. With the company being in business over 40 years, we've made every mistake you can imagine. Now, what happens when you make mistakes? Okay, what happens when you don't have a system in place already? You make a lot of mistakes and you lose a lot of money. What happens when you lose money? You have to go out and get it again. You got to work harder for it. You got to try and figure these things out. You have to learn. Okay, you have to regenerate that money. So what happens? You lose a lot of time. This is where most businesses fail. Okay, it's because they're making mistakes, they're losing money, they can't catch up, and then they're out of business. Okay, so they don't have a system to follow. They haven't learned yet. They don't have the knowledge. Okay, so that's what a franchise system is. You're coming into a system that made the mistakes, they lost the money, they gained the knowledge, they gained the experience, and they're passing that on to you so you could take it and run with it. You don't need to make these mistakes. You don't need to lose this money. You don't need to waste the time. We already did it for you. All right, so we made a lot of mistakes, we lost a lot of money, we wasted a lot of time. Right there is where most businesses fail, okay? Those are big hurdles that you have to learn how to get over, and you have to keep developing solutions to overcome those things to carry your business 10, 20, or 40 years, or make any type of success out of that business. So our development, what we did in the face of all those obstacles, is we essentially wound up building a 100% customized system for the irrigation service and install business. Now, by customized, what do I mean? Getting customers, okay, we figured out every single way for advertising, marketing, bringing in customers to our system. There's a lot that goes on there, okay? Now, once a customer comes in, anyone could bring a customer in, but you actually have to keep the customer and retain the customer over time. Most of our customers, or a lot of our customers, shall I say, have been with us for years upon years and then recommend us, to their friends in different areas, different states, things like that, and you keep growing. But just as important as that is maximizing profits. Okay, at the end of the day, you can be out there working every day, you could have a lot of customers, you could be doing repairs and installs, and it could feel great. But at the end of the day, if you don't know what money you're putting in your pocket, and you don't know how to manage the money and use it to help keep growing your business, it's useless, okay? And this is where a lot of guys fail. They're not keeping their mind on the money, and they're not developing systems to make them more profitable, more efficient, and to keep growing. So that's exactly why we customized everything. We built it from the trenches. Anyone who had any part in building this system spent years in the field, so we know what it's like, okay? And that's why we're confident enough to offer a franchise system up to guys like you looking to start and grow their own business. So after all those years of developing and fine-tuning, we've been able to put on approximately 65 franchises, some of which have multiple trucks and multiple technicians working for them. So there's hundreds of irrigation techs working within our system. We've expanded into multiple states, and we're able to service, or our franchisees are able to service, thousands of customers on a daily basis. So all that learning, all that money spent, all that money lost, all that time building the software, the advertising, the marketing, the call center, the sales department, the calling for markouts, getting permits, doing everything related to getting renovations or installs or service done. Anything you can imagine, that's given all these guys the opportunity to start a business from scratch, using our platform to grow it up and build it to something that they're proud of and something that's successful for them. So something I really want to stress to you guys is that the only way that we make money, or any franchise makes money, is if you make money. Okay, so the number one goal of a franchise system is for you to make as much money as possible. So you have it, when you join Pacific, you have a team of people working literally around the clock to basically try and make you as much money as possible. That is the goal. So we take everything that we learned everything that we developed, and it's right at your fingertips. You can utilize every piece of our system to help grow an irrigation business if you're willing to put in the work. But I really need you to understand that we don't make money unless you make money. So if you see things online that franchises don't work, you can never franchise an irrigation business, I've heard all types of crazy things like that. It really doesn't make any sense, okay? We've been doing it a long time. We're doing it in a lot of areas. Customers are being serviced right now. New franchises are being put on right now. The system works. So don't be deterred by the chatter online. Don't be deterred by what friends or family might be telling you. They might not truly understand what a franchise is. So I hope that I can explain that to you. We can explain it a lot better to you over the phone or in person. We can lay out everything clearly for you. There's nothing hidden. We're an open book. We're more like a blue-collar franchise. We understand what it's like to work in the field. We've all been there. We understand concerns that you or your wife or your family might have leaving your current position or taking a chance on something like this. We understand all of that, and that's why we'll spend time with you, and that's why we built the system specifically for guys like you who maybe you're good at the field work, you don't really know the back-end work, and you don't want to spend 10 or 20 years starting your own business and going through all those headaches. That's who the system's built for. So thank you guys for watching, and please reach out to us with any questions.